Welcome to Aussie Online Growing on Shopify. This is episode 137, and I want to share with you today a bit of a philosophical episode, a bit of a mindset episode. It's called Don't Quit. You need to go through 0 to get to 100. This episode is off the back of a TikTok I saw with a really encouraging topic around not quitting and sticking at it, because everybody goes through difficult times in building a business. And it was nothing special. This TikTok was just simple, and it reminded me that that's true and that it's not always a highlight reel, but people who do succeed in whatever success looks like for you have to go through the tough parts to get to the good parts. And that reminded me of a saying I heard a while ago that I really love, which is about uh, having to go through 0. Like, you can't get to the number 100 without going through all the other numbers. And I've told myself that often in the last 5 years of building my own e-commerce store, and in the last nearly 1 year of helping other clients grow their own e-commerce stores as well, is that it's always important for us to remember that whatever 100 looks like for you, that's just a success, metric, or a good month, or a great day, or a record sales month, or whatever, the number 100 represents. You can't get to that number without the other numbers first. Nobody's exempt from that. No one gets to jump to 100, because before 100 is the other numbers. And that's something I have been sort of trying to remind myself of a lot this year, especially when I think about my Meta ad account and the way Meta as a platform is changing rapidly. It has changed rapidly in the last 12 months, but particularly 2025, it has really changed. It is a very different platform than last year. And I have struggled for a few months to really find my confidence again, that I do in fact understand how the platform works and I can leverage it for amazing results to grow my e-commerce store, and now as well to help my clients with their e-commerce stores too. I got the most encouraging text message from one of my clients just a little while ago. He's going to be on this podcast later this year, which is very exciting. And because of my support for his business in the last 9 months, he has had his best year ever in his small business, particularly with ads. His ads have been a key player in his success, but I also look after his email marketing. So he went from pretty well no email marketing to now email making up a significant percentage of his revenue. But he's had his best year ever because of my support, and he just wanted to let me know that and encourage me in that. And it was really encouraging and reminded me that there are problems to solve and you can find the solution. As a business owner, you need to find the solution. There are ways to work these things out. And when I say these things, I mean whatever struggle or whatever challenge you are up against now. What is the struggle and the challenge you're facing now that might be making you feel like you need to quit, or that you're just not cut out for this? I just don't know what I'm doing. I can't figure it out. I'm no good at it. It doesn't work. All of those things that we tell ourselves as business owners, especially if we're having a down week or a down day or a down month or a down quarter, like a period of time, if things are not looking great, we tell ourselves all of these things. But those things are not true. They're our feelings, but what they are is a guide. Like, it's a marker in the road. Like, those things are important because it's telling you to stop, pay attention, and fix something. I said with Meta this year, I've spent probably 3 months this year really like experimenting. I've been trying different things, and I felt like sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work. Sometimes I had great success, other times it was a big flop. And it's taken me 3 months out of the 6 months so far this year to really find my feet with getting my mind around the new way Meta works. Like, the new way, because I started advertising on Meta in 2020, the platform is nothing like it was back then in 2025. And so I'm coming to it with an pre-existing mindset. I need to unlearn things and learn the new things. If you are starting out with Meta in 2025, you're in a great place because you come with no preconceived ideas. You come to the platform as it is, and you'll learn to make it work as it is. That's what we all need to do as business owners, is be really willing to unlearn things and then relearn to find success in the way platforms and algorithms perform now, as opposed to what they used to be like. There's no point feeling like, oh, I wish it was back like it was. Remember what it was like in 2017? I wasn't on the platform in 2017, but I hear stories from other e-commerce, gurus online that, oh, remember what it was like advertising in 2017? I at least don't have that mindset to think about because I wasn't around advertising in 2017. But I do remember what it was like in 2020, and it's nothing like it is now. So if you found success with ads a couple of years ago, if you had an agency a couple of years ago, if you tried them yourself a couple of years ago, kind of all of those things around, you dabbled in it, you sort of got a bit of a handle on it. I really want to encourage you that if you feel like you want to quit in 2025, it's it's actually that's normal. You need to work it out. It's a different platform. Try to take off that mindset of what it used to be like and come at it with fresh eyes. Because we all go through number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to 100. When you're growing a business, any challenge you come up against, any new thing you need to learn is a new thing you need to learn. Like, give yourself the permission to learn things. Be a beginner again. Come at a problem or a project with a beginner mindset and be willing to ask questions, test things out, make mistakes, and learn, because you actually need to like use those skills and build those skills. I'm very confident now in my skills on Meta for this year. In July 2025, I've been doing some serious creative testing with my own e-commerce store. I've talked about it in many episodes. I'm creative led. I'm creative first. When it comes to ads, you need to be too. If you are advertising this year on Meta, you run ads, or you have someone run ads, or you want me to run your ads, you need to be creative led, creative first, not strategy first, not audience first, not you still need to be metrics first, but your avenue to success is the creative path. You need to be making creative, churning out creative, and testing creative at a crazy volume compared to what we were 6 months ago or a year ago. Hey, what's the very next step for you in growing online? If you have an e-commerce store, or you're looking for clients, you have a service-based business, you can reach out to me for one-on-one support on a project-by-project basis. I'm like an anti-agency, little mini agency on my own. I don't offer long retainer packages for brand new clients. I want you to feel confident. Well, in 2024, my revenue that came directly from email marketing was 36% of my whole revenue across the year. And my revenue for 2024 was increased 30% on 2023 results. So I'm definitely in a good position to support you. I've been told I'm the baby budget Facebook ad specialist because I can work with a very small daily budget or a large daily budget. It's really dependent on what you're looking for as a business and what your immediate goals are, that I can guide you on what is the best path towards success for your business. You can reach out to me at Aussie Online Growing on Shopify.com.au. In fact, you can actually put an appointment straight in my calendar. We can chat about your business for like 25 minutes about what struggles you're having, what your immediate goals are, kind of the stage of business you find yourself at. I'm really excited to have the potential to work with you. I encourage you to head to the website where you can book yourself a free discovery call, and we can chat about how I can support your business in getting the results that you need to grow online next. So that's what made me think about this episode, because I've sort of jumped between, why can't I work this out? What's going on with the platform? Why don't I know what to expect? Why can't I get this to work at a really profitable amount? Why am I spending more on acquiring a first-time customer in like April 2025 than I was in April 2024? And there's lots of reasons for that. But one of the reasons is that the platform is very different, and I've had to come at it with a beginner mindset and really try and just not think about what used to work and simply go with what's presented and lean into that market and work out the solution that suits today. So that's what this episode is all about, is that you can't get to 100 without the other numbers. You can't skip a number. It doesn't work anywhere in the world, in business, in nature. You go through all of the numbers. You cannot go to number 10 without 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So you are not failing, and you don't need to quit, and you don't not understand you're not smart enough. You just need to come at things with a beginner mindset and remember that you're just building things. You're actually not behind. So I saw a quote and I loved it online. It said, "Success isn't a leap, it's a climb. And the only way out is through." So the only way out of your problem is through it. You don't get rescued from it. The solution needs to be found, and you need to test things and work it out and find the solution. And that's true with your ads and also with your email marketing. There are two areas that I work on with small businesses is Meta ads and Klaviyo email marketing. And yeah, like I said, one of my clients has had the best year he's ever had, which he offered to come on a podcast later this year. I'm absolutely going to interview him and find out all about it. And I feel privileged to be able to have been working with him now for nearly a year. And my other clients as well. I have a couple of clients I've been working with ongoing, and then lots of other clients as single one-off projects. So if you feel overwhelmed with the platform this year, with Meta this year, you're not sure where to start, how it even fits in a system, like what's the system involved. If you feel like you're just throwing things at the wall and seeing if anything sticks and you just feel really overwhelmed or paralyzed with not being sure where to go, please reach out to me. Book yourself a discovery call on my website and we'll chat for 25 minutes about your business, and I can work on a project with you for just a month to get you some traction. A month is like a great little window of time for us to start learning, like for you to start learning about how my strategy works and for me to start learning about your business and to get you like on the road to success, on the road to more sales, on the road to a clearer Meta ad account, clearer data that makes sense, data you understand, results you can rely on, results you can bank on, a strategy that helps you feel like you'll be ongoing rather than running a sale next month and getting great results from that. But then what do you do in August? So if you run a sale for the rest of July, what's your plan for August? And that can be as stressful as not succeeding with ads to begin with. It's like feeling like you got great success with a one-off or a project or a promo. But then what? Now what? What do you do next? So that's the system I can look after for you and implement for you and help support you with, so that you feel like you can sleep at night and knowing that there's something to come tomorrow. You know what to do next. You know what you're doing next week, and you know what you're doing next month. And all of that to say is, if you feel like you need to quit, then don't, because it's not just you. I have to remind myself what it was like being very beginner at the very start, when I knew nothing about my website, I knew nothing about ads, I knew nothing about email marketing, and I had to learn all that and practice it and implement it and be a practitioner of it. Like actually practice the trade, practice what I preach, like actually practice and spend my own cash on ads, spend my own cash on email marketing to actually learn the skills I have learned and acquired and that are constantly changing. So come at whatever problem you happen to be up against with really fresh eyes. Try not to look at it the way you might have solved it a year ago or 2 years ago, but come at it now for 2025 and remind yourself that you're probably not behind and you're not failing, you're just building and you're a beginner in something. Be a beginner again. Like feel confident in your own self that you can actually be a beginner again in something and learn about it so you can solve the problem instead of feeling like it's going to get the better of you because other people have solved it and you know they have. That can be what's frustrating too, I think. I know other people have solved this problem. Why can't I solve this problem? Well, you absolutely can, but you probably need to come at it with a beginner mindset and be okay with being a beginner for a while, which actually means doing a really terrible job and learning along the way till you actually acquire those skills to succeed today versus succeeding years ago. Another one of my clients succeeded with SEO way before 2020, like in early 2010, I think 2010 to 15. She built her brand with SEO. And then when I came on board to support her, she has really struggled with understanding how Meta works in 2025 because it's so different. It's completely different to what she is used to building with SEO back in 2015. So she's had to have a real mindset shift for herself and be a 2025 business owner to succeed online in 2025 instead of sort of desperately trying to hold on to or wish for what it used to be like and how she is used to building a business 10 years ago because it's very different today. And for my example, I found the same with ads this year. I've had to really unlearn a lot of what I used to do and come at the platform with a fresh mindset and lean into what the platform is pushing and how the platform is built today, and that's creative led. The creative led is where I am continuing to go this year, and I have had great success with it in the last on like 3 weeks. It's not very long, but I can see it absolutely makes sense to me in the last 3 weeks where the platform is moving and how to succeed this year. Whereas a couple of months prior, I was still having success, but I felt like I was missing a piece or not really confident where to go next. So, like I said, I have a great success with a sale, end of year sale, or Easter and long weekend stuff or sales or a new product launch, or retargeting my existing customers, but actually feeling like I had a system built that really supported success for the rest of this year. I feel like I've cracked that now. I feel like I'm there. And if you're not, you can absolutely get there, but you have to be willing to continue plodding through those numbers you're at. If you feel like you're at 10 out of 100 on understanding how meta works, keep going, get to 11, 12, 13. You just need to push through. The way to get to the 100 is through the other numbers. You don't get to skip them. You go through those other numbers, or reach out to me and let me come on board and support you with that and help you understand the metrics and how the platform's working now. And let's get some things tested and tried and some systems built so that you know what to do in August and September in the lead up to Black Friday, like for real, in the lead up to huge revenue potential later in the year. You need to be much more prospecting this time of year, getting yourself a lot more potential customers and a lot more leads, particularly into your email, so you can be marketing them with emails, but also keeping them warmed and nurtured all towards November. Another thing I saw on this TikTok that they shared, which is this rule called the peak end rule. And it reminds me actually a little bit of Alex Hormozi's building a bridge analogy, which I think I've shared actually on a whole episode not that long ago, about sticking with something, like sticking with the bridge until you complete the bridge. So don't stop building the bridge like continue building the bridge to the other side. And that can be applied to any problem you happen to be having at the moment in your business and growing, is continuing to build the bridge till it's completed so you can actually head over the other side instead of stopping. So don't build 5 bridges part way and stop. Build one bridge and stick with the one bridge till you get it to the other side. And this analogy is similar to that and reminded me of that Alex Hormozi bridge and sort of analogy, is this one called the peak end rule. So this is how, let me read it to you. We often remember the most intense parts of something, how it starts and how it ends. So the peak end rule is that, like, in the middle part that's just grinding away, feeling like you're not really sure what you're doing and if you're doing it right and what mistakes you're making. So the peak end rules, like the start of something and the end of something, is like the most exciting part. But sometimes, like right in the middle of it, it feels just like a mess of what's going on and what am I doing, and am I even making any progress? But you are making progress. Like I said before, you are building something. You're not behind. You're building, if you're building like a bridge, if you think about a bridge, then you're actually building the bridge to the other side. So you need to continue doing what you're doing to learn and to get better at those skills you're acquiring and to get better at the knowledge you're acquiring to make sure that bridge actually lands on the other side, to make sure it's completed and it now becomes a bridge for your business. It's now a resource and it's now something you can feel confident in and move on to the next one, because of course there'll always be a next one. So if you're feeling like in your business it's just a grind and you're not sure what to do next, or you just feel like you're doing things wrong, or how come everybody else is having this success and I'm not? How come everybody else seems to get to 100 or is at 100 and I'm at 20? I can promise you those numbers before exist for everybody. No one is exempt from that. We all have to get through those other numbers before we get to 100. There is no 100 without the other numbers. You can't, it's not even that you just can't skip them over, but if you haven't got the numbers prior, if you don't have number 99, there is no 100. It doesn't exist. You can only get to 100 because of the culmination of all of those other numbers. That's absolutely the picture in my head that makes the most sense when I think about this analogy, is that like rolling ball down a hill, collecting more and more like a snowball or an avalanche. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It can't be big at the end without everything else that's made up of it. There is, the number 100 doesn't even exist. There is no such thing as 100 if you haven't got the 99 numbers prior. So I encourage you to maybe pause and try and reframe your current problem and where it's at, and maybe even take some time out. I find that my best creative solutions often come if I'm got a half a day off or a day off, and I'm not trying not to even think about my business. They often come to me then, and you probably find the same. There's something about our brain and that when we're not in the daily doing things that creative solutions often arise. So take a bit of a breather and really think about how you're feeling about the problem, and then put those feelings in a really critical frame of mind. Like, be really critical about them and think, are these just feelings or are these fact? And if they're fact or feeling, what are they telling me that I need to solve? Where's this? What's the problem to actually solve? So I have no sales. I have no customers. I have no orders. That's a big problem and a big feeling that has many solutions to it. So the problem that needs to be solved could be solved in many different ways. So choose one and lean into that. So reach out to me and let me run your ads for a month, and let's get you some customers with meta ads and some sales that way. Start emailing your customers and start nurturing them. Doing more organic social media, and like a lot of organic social media, like hours a week, spend a day a week, and just concentrate on that for 6 months. Like, do you do in-person sales? You have markets you can go to, book some markets, plan ahead, get them booked in, and you'll feel like you've got a solution coming up and a plan to work towards. Like, run a promotion, launch a new product. What ways can you actually solve that problem? Do a website audit. What's your conversion rate on your website? When's the last time you did some new photos or some new copy? There's so many like solutions to the problem, and they're all good. Like, they're all okay. Just choose one that works for you, that makes the most sense now, and then be a beginner in it again and lean into that being at zero and start testing and trying some things and really taking on board the platform at face value in 2025, or the solution at face value in 2025, and find a way to make it work for you this year, without sort of muddying up the solution with how maybe you would have approached it 2 years ago or 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So you've been here before, you're going to make it through. You've solved bigger problems than this before, and you'll have bigger problems than this to solve in the future. This is the world we are in a small business, is solving problems. The next problem there'll be coming up is, once you've solved this problem, there'll be something else. So like, practice solving problems and really get good at that muscle, like warming that muscle up and really stretching that muscle and being confident in your ability to solve the problem. Not you're confident in your ability to know how to solve next year's problem, because you're not equipped for that yet. I don't know what's coming for me in 2026, and I don't care to know. It's not going to do me any good this year thinking about it or worrying about it, because I'm not the person this year that will need to solve that problem yet. That will come next year when we're in 2026. So what problem today do you need to be paying attention to and solving today? And if you feel angst or frustration or procrastination around a particular issue, it's probably a good sign. It's something you should really lean into and be proactive and systematic and a bit experimental, and actually give it a red hot crack and try and solve that problem next. And then that will give you confidence and move your business on to the very next problem that comes up after that, to get bigger and bigger and to continue growing your business to support you and your family. That's this week's episode. I hope that's been a bit encouraging for you. It's a little bit philosophical, a bit sort of mindset episode today, but thanks for hanging out with me. You can find me at Aussie Online Growing on shopify.com.au. As always, keep learning.